sat here. I should have sat there where Bernard sits. I actually prefer there than here.
Games, whether average or not, mimi sijaridhika. I was just going through the table. Egypt, Nigeria, South Africa. Egypt in first, Nigeria second, South Africa.
Is that the overall table or just the athletics
by last
table?
night.
The overall table?
Yeah, overall table by last night.
Yes.
Tunisia 5th, Ghana 6th, Morocco 7th, Ethiopia 8th, Mauritius 9th, Kenya 10th with 8 gold, 7 silver, 20 bronze. Bernard has given a good reason. He's saying last time we had 31 medals. Now we have 35 heading into the final day of the season.
Yes.
Of the competition. And Kenya's gold prospects are still there. Of course, Wafalme have surprised everybody by getting to the final of the men's volleyball. They play Ethiopia, which is Egypt, which is a very tough game. But overall, I think we should have performed better. Surprised by 1500 meters, Ethiopia won 1-2-3, or is it 1-2? And a couple of other races. Disappointed in rugby. Men, women, we didn't. Men finished third, I think. Women didn't participate at all. I thought those are gold medal prospects for Team Kenya.
I thought differently because, first of all, I think the variety. We touched on boxing, tennis. We also won things in weightlifting, which I think is good. We also won hockey, bronze. I think that was something else.
Men or women?
I think it was should have been women.
Yeah.
We won women's bronze. So I think that diversity is good. For me, it tells me that there's something that has been done by the individual sporting disciplines. As much as, yes, African Games is not the level you'd say is the top notch completely, but of course you'll find a lot of teams dominating certain disciplines because of the level of pedigree they have. But on the flip side, you'll also find some other teams pulling surprises because no one would have expected Kenya Sevens to choke against Burkina Faso. That one was a shocker.
Yeah.
We lost to Burkina Faso. I would never have expected that. Anyway, because we are the level of pedigree that we have, which is good. It also wakes you up. But we won at least a bronze for the Kenya men's sevens team. But ideally, I think for African Games, they end today. I'm impressed. I feel yes, more could have been done in terms of the gold that could win, but I am impressed.
You have to look at it. You have to fragment it. I don't think holistically helps. I think you have to fragment it. Now, for some people, they are incredible achievements. Now, of course, Angela Okutoi did something incredible. First woman to win gold in tennis since 1978. That's something absolutely incredible, okay? And that it takes her a step closer to getting into Paris. All she has to do between now and Paris is make sure... No. She has to be in the 400 to be rankings. She has to squeak into the top 400 by June 10 or something like that. So she's done the bigger step. So you are the African champion, but you need to move up in the rankings. Now that's the tricky bit because remember, one, she's an amateur because she's in uni and she's on scholarship. So she even if she plays in a tournament where there's money, she can't take the money. So now we have to make a plan as a country. This is just my assumption. Again, you guys might throw stones. I've had a lot of stones this week. You have to make a plan for her to play in a few more tournaments so that you push up her ranking. But for her just to do that and for her to beat world number 70. Yeah, like for me. So for her, I take big marks. Okay? And then, of course, there's boxing. Because boxing has gone such treacherous moments. Whenever you see some success, you're happy about it. Okay, at Africa level, you're happy about it. Do I really worry what happened in athletics? I don't. Because for me, and I've said this in the last maybe 3 weeks, Olympics, World Championships, World Under 20, or World Juniors, Commonwealth,
cross country,
Africa Championships, then I get to African Games. Like in the hierarchy of and I asked you guys, by the way, just after this link, just check who are the Kenyans who won gold in the last championships in Rabat, in Morocco. Just check. You'll see randomly. You'll be like, okay, there. Okay? So for that, from me, from an athletics point of view, it doesn't bother me. Of course, it doesn't mean that the performances there don't matter. There are some highlights of performances that make you feel like, there's some. So, for example, to see Beatrice Chepkoech continue her return after being out for 3 years or so, from 2019, she came back in Budapest last year, and to see her continuing it that gives me something, because I'm like, she's still continuing her comeback trail, and I'm hoping she can go on, because it's the only medal she doesn't have is the Olympic gold. When I see the girl, Janet Ngetich, the girl who beat 3 Ethiopians.
Yeah. That was quite a race, man.
I know the Ethiopians have their team B, just like we have our team B.
But still to
But
maneuver.
it gives you, it makes you feel nice, because it makes you think maybe there's something there, there's something we can work on. Okay, of course, when you see some of the kids, like the kid who won 800 meters, like, so it's something to, it's something you can build up
I'll
to.
revisit the 5,000
But-
meters. That
but-
lady really impressed.
Yeah, but in terms of me looking at it and worrying so much, like I have said this for a few weeks, and I'll say it again, we have the Olympics this year, we have the World Cross Country next weekend, we have the World Juniors coming somewhere, we've got Africa Championships coming in somewhere. When those ones, for me, take precedence before I get to the African Games. And that is where we had all this drama with the African Games of, we are sending one athlete per discipline. That's why, because you're looking at it, you're thinking, nah, you know. So that's why it doesn't bother me much. You can take positives from it. I don't take negatives at all from it. And in the same vein, like I said, you can take Janet for what she did in the 10,000 meters. I can take Beatrice Chepkoech. You can take Mary Mora for winning the 400 meters. She was what? 4 years ago.
Right.
She now moved up to number 1. So there are positives you can take from it. But do I look at it and I go like, oh, what does this mean for Kenyan athletics? Nah. I'll worry about Kenyan athletics next weekend. Now, next weekend, if there is a problem, if Emmanuel Wanyonyi doesn't help the team to the relay gold, if Beatrice Chebet and Agnes Ngetich don't do something fantastic, Immaculate Anyango, then I start to worry. Because that's the level we are accustomed to. That whole list you've read, exactly a week from now, next Sunday evening, please check and see. Because we'll be where we are used to. Egypt has been sweeping medals everywhere because of weightlifting. How many medals are in weightlifting? And I don't know in what and what. Many. So it doesn't bother me. You guys worry about rugby. It also doesn't bother me. There's what we think Kenya is in rugby, and there is what it actually is. Now, in our heads, this is Kenya in 2017. But in the reality, this is Kenya 2024. Our main team is going through a rebuild process. So our younger team is even in a more of a rebuild process. And we went through is it a 4-year period? We went through a whole tenure where there was where rugby took big steps backwards. So we can't just rewind. No, it will take time. So for me, it's good for the guys who won, but I don't look at it and I feel like, oh, we should. Nah, I'm fine. I'm like, that's good. That's great. Like with Angela. That's great. With your Beatrice, with your Mora, that's good. And of